Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a Fresh Stories book chat. I always love these convos because I love books and I love people. And if you had told the 6-year-old me who carried a book around all the time that I would get to talk to amazing authors about their books, I don't think I would have believed it. We're here today with Melissa. Melissa, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Melissa Fraterrigo, and I am the author most recently of the memoir and essays, The Perils of Girlhood.
I'm very excited. I saw you post about this a few times. And when I asked if anybody wanted to come on the podcast and you said yes, I was thrilled. So, walk us through. I love memoirs, Melissa. So, walk us through what is this memoir about?
The Perils of Girlhood in one line is about the personal and emotional toll of being female. Um, I have twin daughters. And right about the time that they were getting ready to enter adolescence, I just started to notice some unique behavior. Like sometimes I'd see one of my daughters standing in front of the mirror and like hitting her stomach or her thighs. And I remember one time discovering my daughter in bed crying and just saying like she didn't like herself, and it was really familiar to me because so much of what they were saying and doing was the same way that I had felt as an adolescent in the 80s and 90s. And so I started to really wonder like, well, how can I possibly help them as a mom? I mean, I know my parents at times wanted to help me through challenging moments, but when you're a teenager, you don't necessarily want that help. And so I realized that probably the best thing that I could do would be to look back at my own life to kind of search to better understand my past as a girl, um, examine how those beliefs came to be, and then use those lessons to support my daughters in the present. So the book really began as a search to help my daughters navigate adolescence.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, how did writing this memoir really inform you more about you?
Well, first of all, I'm a fiction writer by trade. And so I was used to kind of like standing behind characters or standing
Mm,
behind imagined worlds. And suddenly, with the memoir form, there is nothing but you and the page and your memories. And, you have a certain commitment to your reader to be brave and to be honest. And I discovered a lot about myself throughout the writing of the book. Some things that maybe were at first blush hard to look at, but I found the book took about 5 years to write. And I found that um, with every iteration, with every time I would return to a chapter or essay or going through the entire essay as a whole, I discovered something new. I might remember an additional detail. A feeling might have shifted a little bit. And I really ultimately, I think, discovered kind of a softness, not
mm.
just for my younger self, but also for my loved ones. I mean, I think it's easy when we're writing about our lives to go and say, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. How could I have been so stupid? What was I thinking? And I actually found a fair bit of forgiveness for myself. And again, like I said, the loved ones in my life. I don't hold anyone accountable for anything
Yeah.
that I share in the book. I think by and large, everybody does the very best that they can with the tools that they own.
Yeah. So you mentioned it took 5 years to write this, and I love talking to memoirists about their process. So, what was the process? Did you write it chronologically? It sounds like maybe you have more like essay based things, but I'm so curious.
Yeah. Well, the writing of it was the fun part because I see writing really as like a big jigsaw puzzle. And so I'm always attracted to the heat. I'm always attracted to where's the energy. And the first piece that I wrote actually is now the fifth essay or fifth chapter in the book. It's called More Like Dad. And the same thing that was um, taking place when I was beginning to notice my daughter's behaviors around adolescence is I was also noticing that sometimes my temper with them would be a little short. And so, More Like Dad is an essay about my father's temper
Mm,
and the way in which I tried to kind of placate that by pleasing him.
mhm.
Things that ultimately played out in my larger experience as an adult with other people, specifically men. So
Yeah,
the book
yeah.
started with me. I am in that essay. I'm about 9 or 10. But it also brings in a little bit of present day me losing that temper with my daughters.
Interesting. I love that. I love the connection there. So, who would you say is like the ideal reader for this memoir?
I think the ideal reader is anybody who is interested in looking at their own life with a sense of curiosity. Um, I think it'd be easy for me to say, like, oh, the perils of girlhood is simply for women or
Right.
for mothers of daughters. But it's not. I've heard from readers of all genders and generations that the book itself, the way that it's written, it brings in pop culture to braid both personal threads as well as universal elements,
Mm, mhm,
serves as kind of a portal to somebody else's experience. The book was never written as a chance for me to simply tell about my life, but it was always my hope that readers would, in essence, come to the page and discover it motivated them to reflect on their own lives and experiences.
yeah, which is interesting because we all have relationships with media and culture and our mothers or fathers or the generations before us. And so I love that you kind of brought this loop of connection in to the book. That's fascinating. What was your favorite part about writing this book?
I think that, like I said, kind of the figuring it out. I,
Mm,
in essence, started the manuscript in the middle, and then the second essay or chapter that I wrote ended up being the first. So I did not write it in any particular order. I thought I was writing it in an order. It
mhm,
wasn't until later
mhm.
that I discovered, oh yeah, that's not really working.
Yeah.
I specifically had these, what I call like pop cultural asides or vignettes where I would really research some element of the 80s or 90s, everything from Judy Blume,
Mhm.
the books Forever to the dads on 80s sitcoms. And I tried to use those to separate the various essays, but I ultimately discovered they needed to be kind of brought into
Mm,
the essays as a whole. So my favorite part was just figuring that out rather than kind of coming to the manuscript assuming it was complete. Always looking to see what the manuscript had to show me and being
mm.
open to it.
I love that. Has your daughters read it?
One of my daughters has, and she
Mm,
really liked it.
okay.
And then my other daughter is just not as interested in
That's okay.
discovering that side of mom, and I'm totally okay with that.
That's okay. Yeah, my
Yeah,
kids don't read my writing.
yeah.
Amazing, Melissa. Where can people buy this?
The Perils of Girlhood is available wherever books are sold. The book has been out since September of
Okay.
2025, and I'm so grateful for readers who take the time to check it out.
It sounds wonderful. It sounds like a great vacation read or a read that you could read alongside like a friend or a book club even. I'm excited to dig into it. We appreciate you, Melissa. We'll put the links in the show notes so you can go check out the book. And thank you for telling your honest truth because I know that the beauty of memoir is that it becomes the guidebook for somebody else. And so we need to be talking about the relationship between all of these things and mothers and daughters and parents and children and the way that media plays into all of that. So I'm really excited. Thanks so much, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute joy.